Another character that has shockingly appeared in live action. Yeah, he was in the live action New Mutants movie. Yep. He's basically a human rocket, also stated here. So a lot of his feats are going to be related to speed. I mean, doesn't this look like a human rocket to you? You know that character in My Hero Academia that basically has rockets on his calf muscles? The character I'm going over today is basically Marvel's version of this kind of. I like the human Cannonball because you know how like cannonballs are really durable and they fly at you at ridiculous speed. That's who I'm going over today. It kind of reminds me of that character from My Hero Academia. See, the way his mutant powers work is that Sam, aka the guy I'm going over today, Cannonball, his blast field allows him to not just fly, but to smash through all obstacles while simultaneously shielding him from harm. The name Cannonball seems to be a good fit for him based on this. Just like many characters, over the years, he's learned to improve his power thanks to Cable helping him out here, a time traveler. He helped Sam develop his powers, hone his leadership skills. Just like many characters, he's went on a lot of different adventures. You can tell based on all the different outfits he's had, you can tell he's been through a little bit. They dive deeper into how his powers work right here. Cannonball generates a thermochemical energy that is released through his skin, accompanied by smoke, flame. Equal and opposite reactions to this energy release propels his body through the air like a rocket. Originally, because of improvements, originally he could not stop the propulsion until his immediate store of energy was depleted or he hit an object with a sufficient mass to stop him. With practice, however, Cannonball can now cut off his propulsion power at will. And it pretty much states all the stuff I already mentioned about how he has a force field while he's in this Cannonball state, moving to protect himself from harm. He can be injured, but there's implications he can heal faster than normal people would. There's implications he might be immortal, a mutant gifted with eternal life. I mean, yeah, he's not bulletproof without his blasting ability being active, but yeah, when he actually does get hit, they still kind of imply he's immortal and he can't just die. So yeah, it's no secret when he's using his attack like a human rocket, he has an aura around him that pretty much protects him, makes him near invulnerable. But like I already said, he makes improvements. Over the years, he's gotten better with this energy field. Like he can use it to protect other people. Like notice how he used it and went through this wall with the person in his hand, but it didn't hurt the person he was holding because he put a shield around them as well. I mean, it's stated right here that he's near invulnerable when he's blasting. So this same energy that makes him near invulnerable when he's blasting, he's gotten so good that he uses this to basically do some Invisible Woman type stuff and make a blast field extension to where he can help not only protect himself, but help his teammates be protected too. So this invulnerableness he can use for usually defense. He can not only use this defense for himself, but others near his area too to make a force field. Like you can't even say this is speed related because he's not even really using speed. He's like in a normal stagnant area and he's amplifying his hits like on some Iron Fist stuff with this invulnerable energy field to punch through some debris. So it lets you know, yeah, speed and stuff does help him throughout this video. You're going to see that, but he also can just enhance his punches with invulnerable energy around his fist. And if you punch somebody with a super hard fist, you know it's going to hurt worse. You see what I mean? An invulnerable fist coming at your face is going to hurt worse. So he can just amplify his hits with his invulnerable energy. And the thing about his invulnerable energy that surrounds him, he not only can punch with his fist around it, but he seems to have long range where he can just straight up blast you from kind of far away with it. There's even implications he can do some omnidirectional type of blast from every direction all at the same time. So yeah, it's almost like he's more than just a human rocket at this point. He's literally a just straight up energy projector. He can use the field in pretty much any way he wants to thanks to his new control. It's like he's a straight up energy projector, blast power type character now. I guess you could say he has some form of fire or heat projection because of the thrusters. Like since he's like a human rocket, like his thrusters can be kind of used like to produce elemental heat or whatever. Implied that he can burn if he thrusts hard enough. And even without relying on energy projection, he's one of those characters he is technically trained. Even without necessarily relying on his powers, we see him actually box people up, fight and handle them. I mean, if he used his powers on certain people, I guess he would accidentally kill them. So yeah, sometimes you just got to use your strength. I mean, look, he just broke this guy's arm here, so part of this could be due to what I mentioned earlier about how he's been training with Cable. He is confident he could take on these huge bodyguards. Like he's mentally thinking about the different ways he can remove his hand. I mean, yeah, some of these beings he does fight with a mixture of his power, but he's fighting beings that are considered one of the best martial artists ever. Like Lady Deathstrike, for example. Like this is a good example because it doesn't even look like he's like spamming his abilities and he's holding his ground against such a good fighter. But probably because of his energy projection helping his punching power too. I mean, he's been trained by Nightcrawler when it comes to the acrobatics. In situations, Nightcrawler's training is even referenced. You could say all of this stuff is part of the evolutions he's made over the years. Nightcrawler is part of his evolution, you could say. And it's not just Nightcrawler. He's even learned a few things from other people he's observed, like Spider-Man as well. And characters like Storm also taught him about pickpocketing. Like, no, these mutants be training, y'all. Look at all this stuff he has to push up. Like, yeah, they be working out. I mean, if you want to be technical when it comes to his muscle and raw strength, his power grid doesn't really imply his strength is all that impressive, but let's just be honest. He basically has super strength when he enhances his body with the energy aura around his body when he controls it. Because at first he couldn't control it, he would just be like a rocket, but since he can control the energy, he basically has super strength, especially when he's amplified. So I would definitely say this number technically should be higher when we add in the fact that he's amplifying himself with his energy. When you analyze the things he's lifted, when you look at the humans, the passengers, the mutants he's lifted, like he's lifting Beast here, we've seen him carry Colossus, who's at least 500 pounds. Thanks to propulsion, we've seen him pull carriers like this, like literal vehicles. During construction, we've seen him lift some decent slabs of stone. This shows that he can lift a few tons. He's carrying a being that's also carrying a whole truck. While he's blasting, he can lift a lot of weight. That's why I say he can basically amp himself up with physical strength when he's using this blasting aura, or even in his earlier days. I mean, that's why he was able to basically lift up this Sentinel. Like, sure, this is a training session and it's hard to really get a pinpoint on how heavy this is, but I would like to guess this is probably over 100 tons. Like, look at all this he's training with. The amount of weight he can lift via propulsion is crazy. Let's be honest, he can definitely lift up tanks because he actually started to lift this thing up. While he's quote unquote blasting, he can definitely lift over 100 tons, if we're being honest. That's why he's able to push back all these beams. And outrageously big monsters. Yeah, look at this monster compared to the helicopter. Yeah, it's a big monster. He doesn't care about the size of him. He still lifts him and takes him somewhere else. Well, technically throws him in the water. Yeah. I mean, he's essentially a human rocket. So you already know if he rockets into you, blasts into you with this kind of speed of propulsion, he can punch hard, obviously, right? With all this. I showed you a glimpse of it when I showed you how much he can lift. Look how his punches warp a missile. I mean, when his powers first manifested, he blasted through a coal mine just by accident. He don't even have no control here like that yet. There's too many occasions of him blasting through building walls, concrete, bricks, you name it. Hitting beings hard enough to go through floors and walls is just another day. Like, yeah. You see these steel girders around him? He can actually blast them apart. He can blast away fences. He's casually going through floors, multiple walls, one after another. Like, he straight up punched him and he went through this many walls. It's the same with doors or even prison bars he can just punch through. It's no wonder he can hit stick trees. He can hit hard enough to flip a vehicle, engrave cars, fly, blast holes in cars, blast holes in jets. The simple shockwave, I'm talking about not even direct hits. The shockwaves of his hits can flip cars. Ships like this, he can fly through. I actually feel bad for some of these vehicles. So I think you guys get the point. Not only can he blast and ram through helicopters and aircrafts, he can also hit so hard to shatter decently sized boulders. This thing that was trying to crush him, he just busts out. We've seen him hit through certain tanks. Decent sized mechs, he has the raw power to ram through one after another, over and over again. As far as I'm concerned, if you can ram through this many floors of a cruise ship, I'm pretty sure you can blow apart building. Agreed. I think he can blast down buildings with ease when you look at the size of the monsters he has to blast holes in. I mean, we're talking about a guy that can blast and hit this hard. Yeah, look at the ground. He can blast hundreds of feet. Well, let's be honest, 300 feet to be more precise. He can dig, blast in the ground this deep with his blast power. I mean, there was this literal occasion of him hitting this energy field that was surrounding a building, and he was literally shaking the building from the collateral of his hit, then proceeds on leveling the building. So if you had any doubts about him not being able to level a building, that doubt should be gone. There's even narration that says he can level the whole or have the whole building tumble down. And it's not just his opinion. Narration is stating this multiple times of him being able to shatter the building. And I know the term building is vague. Well, what about skyscrapers? Skyscrapers are not vague. They say he can topple a skyscraper. They're implying he could level the largest type of building. When they was fighting his demon bear, it's literally stated that he hit it with so much force it could have leveled a skyscraper building. Yeah, Cannonball, don't be messing up people's buildings. This stuff costs too much. I mean, he's actually ramming to punches that would have pulverized a fair-sized building. So his shielding and stuff can protect him against stuff like this. So check this out. There was something that was going to destroy this entire building. Guess what? None of this matters when it comes to Cannonball. Because while he's using his powers, he can just literally stand there and withstand an explosion that will blow away a building with no problem. Like, he's not even damaged at all. It kind of caught him off guard. You could say he was able to knock out Quicksilver, knocked Wolverine out, Nick Fury in a battle suit, Punisher, he had War Machine armor. Yep, Cannonball took him to the ground here. Sabretooth, he makes take a nap. The impact is narrated to hit so hard the impact shatters every window in a 5-block radius. He could probably shatter mountains if we're being honest, because he was able to put a hole in the side of a mountain. Amping his punches with energy really shows how hard he can hit. You can kind of get an idea of how hard he can hit based on the durability of this energy field he's punching beings with. Because there was this time where he had to protect his team on one of their many adventures from a huge impact. Yeah, you see how huge it is. It rocked the mountain region, and Cannonball protected them from something that could shatter mountains thanks to his energy field protecting them. It was something measured on the 3.5 on the Richter scale. It caused this much impact, and it doesn't matter because Cannonball still protected everybody. I mean, we're talking about him being able to produce mountain shaking type of hits. Okay, so you know how in this video it's already kind of been established that the reason why he can hit so hard is him pretty much propelling himself into his opponents with an indestructible or invulnerable shield around his body. That's why he's Cannonball. That's been established, and then he can control it and stuff. There's clear implications he's scarier than even nuclear bombs, or can hit harder than them based on the durability of his shield when he's blasting, and he can control it. I mean, it's pretty obvious that bullets can't get through his aura. There's plenty of occasions of bullets not being able to get through his blast field. But occasions like this, when you deep dive into it, imply he's a low-key powerhouse. I mean, you guys know Adamantium. I shouldn't have to go over this, but you know how Adamantium can cut pretty much literally anybody in Marvel. Even our favorite powerhouses like Hulk, even powerhouses in Marvel get cut by this ridiculous overpowered metal, despite the character using the metal lacking physical strength on their level. But Cannonball's aura is so insane that even Adamantium, the thing that can cut through anything, tries to cut Cannonball with, of course, I'm assuming he's apping himself with aura, even though we don't necessarily see it here. It's narrated that he can apparently cut anything, but then it stated she thought she can cut everything, so it didn't necessarily work. So yeah, like I showed earlier in this video, when it comes to him being invulnerable, these statements seem to not be an exaggeration, especially when he's amping himself with his shield while he's blasting or something. This seems to be something you should take literal, because they use the word invulnerability a lot. And the fact that Adamantium can't necessarily cut him with this aura is kind of insane, considering it cuts literally every single powerhouse that we know in Marvel. That's why I say, thanks to the shield, you can consider him a low tier or medium tier powerhouse, just for the fact that stuff that can usually cut hulkish beings are having issues cutting him. Adamantium has cut Gladiator, the most durable beings in Marvel history like Thor, The Thing, Colossus, you name it. So if his energy aura can withstand stuff that even powerhouses get cut by, I'm pretty sure this kind of implies he's got to be somewhere, maybe a low tier or medium tier powerhouse. I'm just saying, like, how does this not work? So let's just say they're not exaggerating when they say he has invulnerability. Still not convinced of how durable he is when he's flying, at least? Look, Storm is blasting him, he just kind of didn't flinch. It's one thing to protect yourself from normal lightning, but Storm's lightning is stronger than normal lightning. He's using his invulnerability to keep them and everyone alive. He's had to withstand blasts from strong beings like Havoc. A good argument can be made that he's more durable than what his blast power and stuff is. You can make an argument too, but I would think they're probably close to each other, with his durability being slightly better, I would say. Because you know there has to be time travel, right? So you can kind of see, that's why I'm saying why his durability might be better than his own blast, because he actually withstood his hit from himself and it bounced off. So, but at the same time, his attacks have to be crazy. If an indestructible or invulnerable ball comes at you at the speed of sound, it's gotta hurt. You see what I mean? That's why he can hit hard still. Even stuff near absolute zero, he can protect himself with his shielding. Even hot stuff like magma, you can't even use that to guarantee a victory, or you can't even assume that would get past his shield either. Even Pyro's flames can't get to him long as he's blasting. So all you elemental people that like getting wins via hacks, yeah, he's completely invulnerable to your elemental stuff. Lava bolts don't cut it either. He can grab beings while they're in their magma fiery type modes, because no, he's immune to your heat. Straight up says he does not feel cold or heat while he's in blasting mode, but when he goes back to normal mode, he can feel everything like normal. They do dub him invulnerable. That doesn't mean he's indestructible with this shield up. If you can hit hard enough, you still can technically damage him, even though he's functionally invulnerable in this blasting state. So while it is true he was able to withstand or not get cut by stuff that can cut the powerhouses, when he does clash with powerhouse tiers, like going head on with the hammer Mjolnir, he does survive, but it does imply it still hurts him with enough force, because he did get a concussion. In this particular panel, he's nigh invulnerable, near invulnerable. So he's pretty high end, but top powerhouses still can do some damage to him through the shield, apparently. Like in this particular situation, Hulk was super duper pissed, so take this as you will. The Hulk was able to actually KO him. Hulk actually made his blast field go down. he does wake up, but yeah, it lets you know that if you hit hard enough, you can actually put it down. But yeah, but Hulk was super duper pissed here, so that's valid. That's a valid L. He got hit by Colossus. It only knocked the breath out of him, so it protected him quite well, even though Colossus' punch did fling him back. Now, this is where the durability gets impressive when it comes to his blast field. He's been hit by Gladiator into the wall. He protected himself and the passenger. Like, this guy's legit being hit by powerhouses like Gladiator. It's moments like this that make me really think he's got to be at least a low end or medium tier powerhouse. A Gladiator, it looks like he's concentrating this punch on Cannonball. Gladiator hit him with his most powerful blow, and he just ate it when he concentrated his energy field, guys. You know how strong Gladiator is. He's narrated to have planet pulverizing power. We've seen Gladiator hit worlds hard enough to make the planet a corpse. He's the same being that can hit hard enough to wrestle planets from their orbits and collapse stars with his bare hands, guys. He can tear apart black holes with his bare hands. This is why Cannonball being hit by this guy's mightiest blows is insane. Occasions like this imply while he's blasting, his durability can withstand planet-shattering type of attacks. Taking Gladiator's mightiest hit, Gladiator can rip apart black holes, and his aura can withstand hits from Gladiator's mightiest blow. Basically, his energy aura can withstand black hole kind of pressure being on him, like things way above solar system shattering type of power and such, sun shattering type of power. His aura can withstand this stuff. Knowing how strong Gladiator can punch, and he said that was his mightiest blow. So yeah, Cannonball has to be a powerhouse. Gladiator himself even says that's not possible. Well, when we see him blast Gladiator right here, it doesn't seem like this did too much to Gladiator. So you're probably thinking, oh, it's just his durability that can withstand Gladiator's mightiest blow. Gladiator, his power really depends on confidence. So when Gladiator's confidence got ruined by Cannonball's durability feat of him withstanding his strongest blow, this kind of weakened Gladiator, you can say, because he started doubting himself because his power is all about confidence. So after this, you see his face. It seems like his strikes can actually mess him up when he's weak via confidence or something. A powerhouse tier weakened via confidence. Now, via energy absorption, you can say he would have to be able to hit like them, because it's even talked about when it comes to energy absorption. He channeled all the kinetic energy from his killer blow and directed it to your force field, and that's why he was able to actually hit that hard. You could argue he could jump tiers, but I do want to make it known that Gladiator did get back up. He can absorb the raw power of a powerhouse tier that can produce planet, black hole, shattering type power, and produce that kind of power via energy absorption, you could say. So you can argue via Hex, he can produce levels of power way above planet shattering by using the character's energy against him with his force field and attacking with. So in a way, he can hit hard. That lets you know how much his shield can absorb without being overloaded, you could say. Hey, look at Gladiator's facial expressions. These look like some full-blown fights when it comes to Gladiator. It's narrated in this very panel that this character took on the Fantastic Four in one. The writers haven't forgot that this is the same Gladiator that can do crazy stuff. It appears he can compete with the heavyweights to me. I don't want to overthink, but he did make the Hulk go, arr. Beings that are very similar to Magneto try to restrain him, and she's, Polaris, he just kind of thrusts through her magnetic fields. Iron Man says nothing hurts this guy. Like, all these powerhouses had to gang up on him at the same time, and one of these powerhouses is Hulk, you got Iron Man, you got Namor, like, these are a lot. Wonder Man, all of these people hitting him at the same time. Like, I know these characters aren't the most popular, but one of the coolest occasions to really show Cannonball's might is him going up against Sunspot. Cannonball kind of implies that he couldn't beat a fully powered Sunspot because he's weakened at night, but I think it's cool. He can still eat these attacks from this being. Somebody that does get amps physically, and it's even confirmed that he's apparently on a equal strength as somebody like Colossus. Physically, he can overpower Sunspot until Sunspot activates his powers when he goes black mode. He's protected against Sunspot releasing this much energy to explode. He's able to withstand being right next to Sunspot, producing all this energy. I mean, when he fights Sunspot, they're pretty legendary. Like, I would say the fights are pretty decent. It's implied here that the attack of them clashing with each other kind of was like a stalemate type of situation. If it wasn't for his invulnerable shield, he would have been splattered by Sunspot's strength, you see? Cannonball can react in a fraction of a second. He can react to an energy bolt that is like lightning. An invulnerable ball of energy coming at you at crazy speed would hurt, wouldn't it? This is the kind of abilities where you don't really need super strength to hit hard, I mean, beings like Hercules can throw their mace. He can outrun the mace that's thrown. In raw point A to point B speed, he can outrun Wolverine's motorcycle. In a race, whether it's cars or motorcycles, he can outspeed them while he's in the middle of saving somebody. He maneuvers too fast for a lock-on system to even track him. He can fly faster than planes. We've seen him keep pace with jets, even outspeed the jet and its missiles. When he hurled towards Juggernaut, he got bounced backwards at 130 miles per hour. He can reach speeds of 237 miles per hour. There's implications he can go the speed of sound or close to it at least, or even faster, because he talks about how his fist can ram at you at 700 miles an hour. I mean, yeah, you think he's being cocky. No, he's not being cocky. They straight up say sonic boom. That's what happens when you break the sound barrier. So it's not just a statement. Cannonball created a sonic boom with his speed. So yeah, he can go to speed of sound faster than the speed of sound. Narrated how he can break the sound barrier. They even go as far as saying we haven't really found an upper limit to his speed, which makes sense because there's certain occasions where he swoops in so fast to where he's implied to be completely invisible to human eyesight. Narrated, it will take 30 seconds before Lucas' fellow inmate realizes he has disappeared, like he's already out of there that fast before anybody even notices him, implied by the panel here. He's fast enough to make his own tornado or updraft. There's implications that he's way faster than the speed of sound when characters like Deadpool don't react in time to his blitz, or he could have been just trolling, but it's just like when people like this don't react to his blitz, that's why I say it's kind of implied he could be faster than the speed of sound. Deadpool can react to speed of sound stuff because Deadpool, we know, is fast enough reflex wise to react to bullets flying at his face, but yet Cannonball can do this to people like Deadpool. You see why I'm saying this implied he's faster than the speed of sound? Wolverine was in the middle of attacking and he brushed him out of the way. I mean, in his defense, I guess you could say this is an off guard feat, but I don't care. When you're as fast as Quicksilver, for you to hit Quicksilver too fast for him to react, it kind of lets you know that you got to be fast. I would argue way faster than the speed of sound to be able to do this to Quicksilver. Quicksilver is a guy that can react to lightning, guys. Quicksilver can dodge laser beams, laser beams. Quicksilver is the type of beam where 1 second feels like an eternity to himself. So for him to be able to blitz Quicksilver like this, hit him before he can react, whether it's off guard or not, I would say this is still impressive and a big implication he's way faster than just the speed of sound. Somehow his reflexes seem to be pretty decent too. I mean, you've seen a lot of people he's fought in this video, so he can't be slow compared to the Marvel characters that are usually dodging this stuff on a daily. He can make sharp turns. I mean, just the fact he's able to even hit Gladiator kind of shows that he's competing with these fast beings of Marvel in speed. Even when we're specifically talking about combat speed, a lot of these Marvel characters can fight faster than the speed of light. Gladiator is one of those beings that can react and catch blows within nanoseconds and stuff. That's why him battling Gladiator kind of implies he has to be faster than the speed of light from default, just to even be able to compete with these beings a little bit without getting completely overwhelmed at speed and blitz. You could say Cannonball is one of those people that can use his flight speed in combat. Light speed reaction stuff is kind of implied here when he can react to a charged particle beam. Do me a favor and Google the speed of a particle beam and you're going to see why this is fast. I hope you guys have enjoyed. You have to respect Cannonball. You see this durability on his power grid? You see how high it is? This technically should kind of help his strength or his strikes because he can use his durability in an offensive way because he can ram into you with invulnerable energy. I guess when you look at it that way, it makes a little sense on why he's able to kind of scrap with Gladiator. And he can kind of jump tiers by absorbing energy anyway. So it's even stated in his handbook that he can absorb this kinetic energy, just like what he did to Gladiator earlier in this video. So he could kind of jump tiers that way to fight the heavy hitters if the opportunity arose. I mean, without even getting too deep into what the powerhouses in Marvel can do, if he can technically jump that tier, he could technically produce universe shaking power like a lot of the stuff the Marvel powerhouses do via redirecting their own energy with his own shield. You know, because the Marvel powerhouses like Silver Surfer can withstand exploding galaxies, and Thor can produce energy similar to Big Bangs, make shockwaves across the universe. This is the kind of stuff powerhouses do. We know Thor and Gladiator has fought, Cannonball fought Gladiator, blah, blah, blah. This really lets you know what Cannonball had to compete with and the stuff Thor and Gladiator can do, But do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, turn on notifications, respect Cannonball though. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button and I will see you guys later.